Hey everybody, this is Dr. Nathan over at Body Balance Physical Therapy. I want to go on and show you guys how I do a stretch for not only our hip internal rotators, but also a way to strengthen and help continue to gain some mobility within the internal rotators of our hip. And so all we're going to need for this is a kettlebell or something, something that's relatively heavy that we can utilize to stretch, but also something a little bit taller because we're going to have to lift up and over it. So I'll show you guys the stretch first. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into our hands and knees here. And we're going to use this heavy weight to help us to stretch our foot. So what we're going to do is we're going to, this weight's going to end up going in between our feet, but we want to hook our foot onto that weight to stabilize it. And then we're actually going to help kind of crawl ourselves over so we're getting a really good stretch of those internal rotators and really pushing our hip into internal rotation. So one thing we want to focus on with this though is I don't want to really rock my pelvis up to the side. We want to really think about trying to stabilize our pelvis, keep our tummy nice and braced as we're turning. So as I'm turning, I'm only getting that stress and that stretch through my internal rotators and not in through my spine or anything like that. But we're also starting to work on some of that coordination. So I think holding that stretch is really good to do. And then what we can do is we can start to utilize it. So then we kind of back ourselves to the side away from that, and then we lift our foot up and over that handle and start to work on that internal rotation that we were just trying to stretch out. Now, one thing I don't want to do is the same thing with the stretch, is I don't want to hike that hip up to lift that foot over. We're going to try to stay nice and stable. Don't round your back too much, don't arch it too much, try to keep it in that neutral position. Keep that core tight and let that only joint moving be right at the hip as we kick back and forth, back and forth.